Good morning and welcome to Sunday School. Let's talk about hashish. Uh, I sort of came to magical age uh, in the 60s, okay? And I have to confess, I've never been into what you would call hard drugs, okay? Uh, I just haven't been. Okay, I was always interested in what was going to kind of expand and sometimes even accelerate my consciousness, uh, and not make me oblivious or that wasn't kind of my ecstasy. But I really, really enjoyed for a number of years now. I may disappoint you, but I can't even remember the last time I even uh, took a took a puff off of hash pipe or a joint that's been passed around in company. Uh, but what is this? Where is this coming from? Okay. I, anyway, oh, excuse me. I thought I was leaking. It's just coffee. Uh, uh, so yeah, it's been a long time, but for very, very many years, it went hand in hand uh, with my spiritual studies and spiritual practices and meditation. Okay, and it's one of the things that sort of encouraged me when I was getting into Crowley to realize that he wrote a fabulous poem, lengthy thing on hashish and the grass of the Arabs and things like that. And it became clear that quite a bit of the mystical literature uh, that has been penned in the past, the authors or the poets were uh, inspired or either inspired by or under the influence of hashish. And so I have to say that for a number of years in my most formative magical years uh, was characterized by my occasional use of hashish. And the I was lucky in a way. No, I was just lucky in a real way. Uh, that because I was a working musician and was close friends with people who were involved in the importation and distribution of very fine uh, quality product, that I never paid for it. Okay. That's the old thing. Yeah, I never paid for it. Well, in my case, I was talking about talking about hashish. Uh, but it really, for a materialistic, almost rural farm boy consciousness of a young man coming out of Nebraska, I sort of needed some heavy guns uh, to open up a wider world of my inner universe. So I'm not suggesting that anybody does or does not do. I'm just uh, confessing my experience. And a number of years ago, I wrote uh, what I think, what I consider to be uh, a rambling poem, just called "Without Hashish," and I thought for Sunday school I would share it with you. Heavenly Father, Mother, sister, brother, great frog goddess Mabuba, blessing to the word. Okay. Without hashish, I would never have heard the music. Without hashish, I would have never made money playing the music. Without hashish, I would never have felt my soul. Without hashish, I would never have first heard my angel. Without hashish, I would never have proposed to my wife. Without hashish, I would never avoided the draft or ever tried to talk with God. Without hashish, I would never have tried yogurt or avocados or sushi or sashimi or eel or monkfish liver. Never tried a mango lassi or fish oil or lecithin. Without hashish, I would have never have eaten brown rice, steamed egg-fried rice, or fried spinach, stinging nettle, or dandelion leaves. Without hashish, I would never have dreamed of eating steamed broccoli or cauliflower or spinach or okra. Without hashish, I would never have dreamed of eating steamed squash or zucchini or fried broccoli, fried cauliflower and spinach, fried okra, fried rice, squash, and zucchini. Without hashish, there would have been no tofu in my life. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized the mad futility of war, or the necessity of the mad futility of war. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I hate myself. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I love myself. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I love hate for its honesty. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I hate love for its honesty. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I hate the fact that it doesn't matter. Without hashish, I don't think I would have truly realized how much I love the fact that it doesn't matter. And such is the reading of the word. I wrote that a number of years ago, so at the time it seemed absolutely true. And believe it or not, I was not on hashish when I wrote it. Okay. Just later on today, as a matter of fact, I have to get myself, pull myself together to go do a late afternoon talk today at an event sponsored by the local OTO body, 418 Oasis here in Sacramento. They're sort of sponsoring an event, kind of a pre-Halloween event, and I'm going to speak at it, and my talk is called Thelema is Bigger Than Aleister Crowley. And I'm going to just leave us this morning with one little tidbit from that. Okay. Because so many people and sincere students of magic and the occult and modern spiritual movements really have a problem, multiple problems with Aleister Crowley. So many obvious and so many problems that sort of stand out immediately that a lot of people don't even consider him worthy of pursuing what he was about. And it sort of makes sense. He had a long and very prolific writing career. And for those of us who are sort of into the technicalness of it, he was on a spiritual journey. So there's not just one Aleister Crowley. I call him the meat Aleister Crowley. Okay. There's a difference between the meat Aleister Crowley and his various initiatory degree levels, okay, which are levels of consciousness. And so it sometimes takes years to because sometimes he writes stuff that appears to be so shocking it couldn't hold any truth at all, and sometimes what he said in one decade he seems to contradict in another one. Well, he's growing too. Okay, but the idea that we're all on this trip, we're not the same people we were 20 years ago. I mean, we're not. Even our meat is different. But Crowley's revelation, Crowley's law of Thelema, the idea of what exactly is an advance in an aeon or a period of time, which is really dictated by the general level of awareness of humanity. We were all thinking differently when we thought that when we didn't know where babies came from. We all thought differently on everything. Not only our magic and religious observances, but just everything. Our brains were different, okay, and then our brains were different when we thought that the sun died every day, okay, and our brains became a little bit more different when we realized, oh no, the sun, relatively speaking, is stationary, and it's us that's spinning around and going around. So humanity thought differently. And believe it or not, the sun's very important to our individual consciousness, okay? But anyway, the law is for everybody. The law is for all. And it's easy to lose sight of that fact when you run into those whose encyclopedic memory and libraries make them come off as somewhat snobbish, okay, and elitist. And as you can imagine, I hate that shit. Okay, Crowley took Nuit's declaration in chapter 1 of the Book of the Law very seriously. The law is for all. And Crowley repeatedly affirmed that ultimately the interpretation of the text of the Book of the Law is for each individual to determine according to their own light. The law is bigger than the meat, Aleister Crowley. Thelema is bigger than the prophet who received it and declared it, or the scribe who scribbled it down, or the various initiatory degree levels of consciousness of the man or the prophet or the scribe. That doesn't mean we're not to learn from Crowley's magical writings and received scriptures, or that we're not to learn from Crowley's genius or wisdom or understanding or his flaws or his mistakes or his shortcomings. But as Thelemites and new Aeon magicians, we won't really get much of what Crowley wrote about until we, in our own personal and private epiphanies, have come to those realizations ourselves. Then we might actually find ourselves saying, shit, I guess this old boy was a holy man, a priest, a prophet, and the beast 666. Well, Sunday school's a little short this morning because I have to do quite a bit before they come and get me. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I think the World Series is going on, but it's not on television that I can get, so we used to enjoy the World Series. When I was a kid at school, they used to let us listen to the World Series on radio in school. That's how important America's pastime was in the 50s and early 60s. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow for the order of Monday morning, and I'll give you a full report on how I did this afternoon. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.